Nearly 9 years ago now, Nissan launched its first mass-produced electric car in the form of the 2011 Leaf hatchback. Aside from its quirky, love it or loathe it looks, I personally loved it, the Leaf had seating for 5 adults, came with remote telematics capability, so you could check the state of charge and precondition the car remotely, and felt like a breath of air for many electric car fans who, to that point, had mainly been relying on converted vehicles. Its passively cooled 24 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack wasn't huge, but the first Leaf offered a range of between 75 and 100 miles, depending on how you drove it, and came with optional DC quick charging, enabling a quick refuel on the road at a compatible CHAdeMO quick charging station. In the years since, the Leaf slowly evolved, gaining a more efficient motor, controller and heating system in higher trim models, and adding a more affordable entry-level model without some of the bells and whistles of the original Leaf. There was also a succession of battery improvements made to the original design, improving battery thermal tolerance in an attempt to tackle some of the heat-related premature battery aging issues early Leafs had. That said, Nissan retained the original passive cooling system used by those original Leafs, shunning the idea that it should switch to liquid cooling. Then in 2016, Nissan added a longer-range battery pack option to the original Leaf, increasing capacity to 30 kilowatt-hours and pushing real-world range over 100 miles per charge for the first time. Also, outside of the battery packs that had suffered premature battery aging and were replaced under warranty with more advanced so-called lizard battery packs, Nissan began to offer customers the chance to buy a new battery pack for their cars when their original battery pack's capacity had dropped to a point where the vehicle was no longer practical to use in everyday life. That battery replacement program was originally priced at $5,500 in the US, with other markets offering comparable pricing. The price assumed a $1,500 or equivalent exchange fee on the old battery pack. That fee was still too expensive for some owners, but as I noted in a video on this channel earlier this year, it was possible, if you were super clever, to buy a used high-mileage Nissan Leaf with a completely shagged battery pack. Yes, I know, a British slang, but it was appropriate. And then pay Nissan to install a new battery pack. Buy a Leaf for a few thousand, then put a new battery pack in it for $5,500, and you'd end up with a car capable of like-new range and performance for less than many newer used Leafs. Earlier this year, Nissan even launched a new program in Japan, allowing customers the option to replace their car's aging battery pack with a remanufactured one rather than a new one for about half the price. Although not quite as extensive as the warranty on a new pack, these remanufactured packs even came with their own small warranty against capacity loss. At that point, it seemed like Nissan was really looking after its early adopters and its early vehicles. And while Nissan did get criticised heavily for its lack of active thermal battery management for the 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack in the new second generation 2018 and 2019 Leafs, older Leaf owners did at least know that battery replacement was an option for their cars moving forwards, even if a slightly pricey one. Yet Nissan has quietly put the price up for first-generation Leaf battery replacements in the last few months, so quietly in fact that we and others are only just learning about it. Instead of costing just under $5,500, owners approaching Nissan for battery replacements in North America are now being told that the cost has been increased to $8,500. What's more, the battery pack price increase isn't because owners will get a larger capacity battery or better chemistry. No, they'll still get 24 kilowatt-hour battery packs, or if they've got a 30 kilowatt-hour Leaf, a 30 kilowatt-hour battery pack. And this change seems to be global. And that not only further devalues existing cars, but it puts the screws on Nissan Leaf customers. With Nissan's second-generation Leaf not rectifying past mistakes about battery thermal management, and the longer-range 60 kilowatt-hour liquid-cooled Leaf E Plus still not revealed yet, Nissan's original customers are getting fed up, and they're looking elsewhere. It also makes it even harder to recommend the first-generation Nissan Leaf as a good used car buy for customers, because the battery degradation will happen far more quickly than it will in cars with active thermal management, and eventually customers will be left with a car with a very restricted range or a very big repair bill. What's the reason for the price increase? Well, it's not clear. It could be changes on imports, it could be other costs associated with the supply chain. But most likely it's because Nissan is no longer producing the same battery chemistry it once was for those early Leafs, and that means replacement battery packs are being made in small numbers, which of course increases the per unit cost thanks to economies of scale. That's not an excuse. Nissan was already losing money on the lower-priced battery replacement program and has said several times in the past that very few Leafs were actually getting second battery packs. In fact, most appear to be on their first packs until the day they are retired. But as these vehicles age, the number of Leafs needing battery replacements will increase, especially if they've been driven more than about 15,000 miles a year and rapid charged regularly in warmer climates. I should note too that this behaviour would be just fine in a car with active liquid thermal management, but the Leaf doesn't have this, so it is a problem. I've reached out to Nissan for an answer, but I haven't heard back yet. When I do, I will let you know. But for now, there's something very clear. Many owners are frustrated and feel betrayed by a company that, for a long time, led the global electric car transition while Tesla was ramping up its Model S and Model X production volumes. I've personally owned two first-generation Leafs, a 2011 and the 2013 we currently still own. We discussed keeping it as a perfect learner car for our daughter, but now, well, it's got a finite life. How do you feel if you're a Leaf owner? Let me know in the comments below. That's it. As always, hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded. Subscribe to both of our channels, and if you fancy it, support us by using one of the two links below or by buying something from our new shop. You'll find the merch just below this video if you're watching on YouTube with a web browser. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.